All right, folks. Hey, we're in a market correction, potentially a bear market. Who knows where we're at? A lot of questions keep coming in to me about buckets. What am I doing? Am I panicking? The question around panicking, no, I'm not. I use the bucket approach so that I could sleep at night and I'm planning on a bear. Bear markets are common. Look in history, they're common. Some people say 7 years, some people say 10 years. They have that kind of frequency, but there's no rhyme or reason to when they occur. But you look at the stock market the last 100 years, there are bear markets. Okay, there are market corrections every 3 or so years, sometimes inside of a year. So a lot of drama, a lot of volatility in the stock market. But if you know it happens and you plan for it, you can make it almost stress-free. I can't say stress-free. I wish the markets were going up, but hey, that's just part of the game. So I get a lot of questions about my buckets. So I want to, there's a lot of great people out there that talk about buckets that are a lot more knowledgeable than I am. I'm going to show how I apply their approach to me. Okay, so let's go through that. Again, this is on buckets. I happen to have 3 buckets. You decide if you want to. It doesn't matter. This is an individualized solution. This is what works for me with my current thinking. I've been retired for 3 years now. If you look at my total investments, I'm about 72% stocks, 28% bonds right now. I'm just not a big bond fan right now. I don't have a whole lot of those. I do have more in out of the market investments, not very secure, like in a savings account. Okay, so bucket number 1, it's 4 years of expenses. Okay, expenses are what's critical here. 4 years. It's not the amount that's in there. It's 4 years of my expenses, my spending rate, mine and my wife's. Okay, the purpose of bucket 1 is to survive most bears. 4 years of expenses. My previous video, a couple videos ago, I gave some data. I'm not going to do that now just to be dangerous. Look at the data yourself. A couple videos ago about bear markets, how long they last, how long from peak to trough and back up to peak again. A majority of those are within 4 years. Some are longer than that. Some are a lot longer than that. But I chose to put 4 years of expenses out of the market, sleep at night kind of money. Some people say put 1 year in here, put 2 years in here, put 3 years in here. I put 4 in there because I had the money to do it. Okay, so that's my current. That is not in the market. About 5%, honestly, is in the market. It's kind of my thumb on the scale to do a little bit better than just have inflation eat it away. Lots in a money market, but not making much. Bucket number 2 is also 4 years of expenses for my wife and I, adjusted for inflation. 3% inflation, not 10. We'll see how that works out. I've got that invested in 60/40 balance funds. The purpose of that is to survive an extreme bear. Say it lasts twice as long, say it lasts 8 years, but also it has the potential to grow. There is some risk here. I got a medium risk over here, bucket 1, very low risk, almost zero risk. Other than inflation eating away at it, but medium risk here. And I like balanced funds. I've like American funds, and American balance is a huge portion of this. And if you look at 5-year periods for American balance funds, looking in the rearview mirror, it's never lost money in 5-year rolling periods. 3 years, it's like 2 or 3% of the time. It has lost money, but very small chance over longer periods of time of at least, in that 3 to 5 year range. Historically, has it lost money? Doesn't say anything about going forward. I like having, managed funds like this because, I'm just not a good bond person. I study them a lot, and I always seem to be one step behind. So I'm paying the fund managers at Capital Group to say, this is the right bond fund to be in, whether it's Capital, where it's Ginnie Mae, or corporate bonds, corporate bonds, or just which ones to get into, short term, long term. It moves too much for me, to be honest. and I don't understand it as much as I do stocks. So hey, these guys are good. They're ahead of it. So I like balanced funds in my bucket 2. Bucket 3 is it's 95% stocks. I have, a couple of them own some bonds in there. It's for money I need after 8 years. It's in growth. It's designed to beat inflation and long-term expenses, high volatility in the short term. Okay. Now these buckets don't stay stagnant all the time. Okay. And I don't run this bucket 1 down to 0 intentionally unless the markets are down. So if the markets go down like they are now, I let this bucket inch its way down. And when the market returns, that's when I fill up this bucket. So it's designed to handle a bear. So we're in a bear right now, or potentially in a bear. So I'm not doing anything. I'm letting that go down. Whenever the market recovers, I will choose to pick out of these other buckets to fill that up. So my action is once a quarter, every 3 months, I look at the spending habits of my wife and I. How are we spending money? Update my models with that. But I also evaluate each bucket on its purpose. The buckets have a role, okay? Manage through a bear. So when this bear market is over, assuming we're in a bear, is over, and this whittles down to maybe 2 years or 1 year, I will be looking to refill it to handle the next bear, okay? And this is to handle a longer bear, maybe up to 8 years. And this is for long term. So this is, I may take some out of this, feed it over here, may say take some out of this, put it into these two. Each quarter I'm making that evaluation. Now, to some people, that sounds like a lot of work. Folks, it's nothing. I've been retired for 3 years and I've almost made no moves, almost none. So this is very simple, flexible. Some people will argue that, hey, Joe, I like a 60-40 split. I'm a little more aggressive than that because I can. I got a lot of money over here in bucket 1. I choose to be a little more aggressive. The reason these numbers look so big is because I got, quite a bit of money over here. So this is not stressful for me. This buckets is a way of thinking about this split that allows me to say, hey, we're 5 months into a tough economy right now. People say, Joe, are you stressed? What are you doing? What actions you're taking? I'm taking none. If this lasts 4 years, I will start to get a little concerned, but I've got bucket 2 that is primed and ready to go, ready to step in and handle another 4 years. Now, if we go 8 years, I'll start to get a little concerned. I'll start to get a little concerned. Buckets allow me to compartmentalize my thinking and not to worry about a 5-month bear, about a 1-year bear, a 2-year bear, a 3-year bear. If Great Depression happens and we got, a 12-year bear, hey, I'm going to have problems, but not near the problems other people are going to have. So, hey, I wanted to explain buckets a little bit more. I get a lot of questions on this. People think it's complex. It's actually very simple, a very simple way to think about your money. Think about it in years versus dollar amounts, so you can handle the drama of the market. This is Joe out.